Before the 2025 season officially begins, you might be wondering to yourself, who are the players that are primed for breakout seasons? What's going on, NFL fans? Welcome into NFL Daily by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about on today's episode. The 4 breakout candidates that I have highlighted ahead of the 2025 season. Now, before we get into that, we've only hit 200 likes one time in 8 videos. Unacceptable. So do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. It's completely free, helps the channel grow, and puts more NFL content on your YouTube timeline. Now, I do want to start off by saying this. There are some prerequisites for this so-called list. This can't be a rookie. That's the first thing. It's got to be a second, third, or fourth year player heading into the 2025 season. I hate when people are like, oh, a rookie can be a breakout. No, that's not how it works. A breakout means they've already had a season in the NFL. It didn't go exactly how they planned. They're primed to have a great second, third, fourth season, etc. On to the list. Marvin Harrison Jr. He's number 1. And I say this because MHJ was primed to be like his dad, straight out of college. I mean, everybody was gushing over the size, the strength, the talent. And don't get me wrong, he didn't have a bad season, but his relationship with Kyler Murray just never seemed to quite gel early on. It got better as the season progressed, but by then it was already too late. And look, he put up good numbers. They weren't great. Solid B. But he was quoted about his relationship with Kyler, and he believes that the relationship needs to flourish. Obviously, right now, with everything that's going on in the air, getting timing down, being precise, and everything that we do is a priority. I feel like we should be able to go out there with our eyes closed and be able to compete with 100% of our passes. Wishful thinking, obviously it never happens that you complete, 100% of your passes, but I like where his head's at. And statistically last year, I'll say it again, he wasn't bad. It just wasn't what everybody thought it was going to be. So I can't label it a disappointment, but did he live up to the expectations? And the answer is no. I remember last year, right around this time actually, it was right during the summer, where everybody was saying Marvin Harrison Jr. could be a number 1 overall pick for the Chicago Bears. There were legitimate sources saying that was a possibility. It obviously didn't happen that way. The Bears went with quarterback Caleb Williams. The rest is history. But you're still looking at a top 5 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. So MHJ has a lot of progression to do if he wants to live up to his draft stock. So here's what I believe his breakout numbers are going to look like here in 2025. 90 receptions, a little over 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns. I feel like this would get you into Pro Bowl consideration, probably get you like a second-team Pro Bowl nod. That's just my opinion. But, again, from what he did last year, which was 62 receptions, only 8 touchdowns, and 800-something yards, this would be a significant step forward for MHJ. On to number 2, first quarterback on the list. Actually, only quarterback on the list, Michael Penix Jr. And Michael Penix Jr. is an anomaly right now in the NFL. I don't know what he is. Is he the left-handed Jared Goff? It's possible. Is he a bust? We have no idea. We know that Kirk Cousins was the starter last year and that when Penix came in, there seemed to be a revamped juice around the Atlanta Falcons franchise. And during their last 3 games that Michael Penix started, I'm not going to lie to you, these aren't great numbers. They're so-so, but he only started in 3 games. And I get it. He's older than a lot of the rookies that came into the 2024 quarterback draft class. But Penix has the opportunity to be a little bit like a bigger version of Tua, in my opinion. Yes, because they're both lefty. But he is the biggest question mark right now in the NFL. There's no doubt. I have no idea what Penix is going to be. You just got to wait and see. Now, do I think based off of everything that I saw in college and what I saw from him last season with his accuracy, he had accuracy concerns last year, but he has been primarily known as an accurate quarterback, someone who's got a great release. He's got, a great spiral, throws a beautiful football, and can just do his damage from the pocket. So my prediction for Michael Penix Jr. when it comes to his breakout season statistics are not amazing numbers, but they're not awful either. I feel like this would be okay, we finally understand what you are season if he put up numbers like this. 65% completion percentage, 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 picks. Falcons fans would take this in a heartbeat, I guarantee it. Every other Buccaneers, Panthers, and Saints fan would say, hell no, this wouldn't be good. But again, this is what I predict for Michael Penix Jr. Who is your breakout candidate for 2025? Let me know in the comment section down below. I think you'll find that mine comes on the later end of this list. The latter end of this list. My last guy, I believe, is going to be my biggest breakout candidate in 2025. And speaking of, coming up, I've got my final two. But we're going to say a quick thank you to our friends over at Fanatics. Listen, guys, 4th of July is right around the corner. The country, your favorite team, smush them together. You get some unbelievable 4th of July t-shirts. Look, whether you're on the grill or on the boat, doesn't matter what you're doing, sport your favorite team with your favorite flag and use this link that I've put in the comments and description of today's video and start shopping with our friends over at Fanatics today. If I could buy one right this moment, I totally would because, let's be honest, America and football go together like peanut butter and jelly. All right, third one, only defensive player on the list, by the way. And there were plenty of guys that I could have put on this list, but I chose the guys that I felt like were in for the biggest seasons. Latu, edge rusher from Indianapolis. And last year, I really felt let down by him. And it was mostly because of the hype surrounding him, because at UCLA, everybody was gushing. Oh, there's this Hawaiian kid that is just unbelievable. And in Indianapolis, they have very, very high expectations for Latu. Indy Star said this, which is a magazine, newspaper, I guess, in Indianapolis. They said, Latu's 38 pressures from a season ago aren't going to leap off the stat sheet, but a sign of what's to come among all defensive ends in 2024. He ranked 27th in PFF's pass rush win rate metric. Oftentimes, when a player is winning those matchups regularly, their production will follow. And again, that's kind of like the baseline that we're talking about with Latu. You saw the talent. It was definitely on display. The PFF grade's nice. He just didn't statistically get it done the way everybody thought he would get it done. But that's okay. He was a rookie last year. So he's got the physical gifts and all of the tools. The bag is deep with Latu in his ability to get to the quarterback. But he's just got to learn to finish. Wasn't it John Gruden who said, I don't care about pressures, hit the damn quarterback, knock his ass on the ground? I believe that was John Gruden who said it. But it's kind of that old school mentality of like, all these fancy analytics, they don't mean jack unless you're putting the guy on the ground. And I think he totally will. Now, again, these numbers aren't going to jump off the page to you, but I feel like this would be a great spot for him to be at the end of the 2025 season. 47 tackles, which would be up 15 from what he did last year, 7.5 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, and 19 quarterback hits. Quarterback hits is the only advanced analytics stat that I actually like, because when you hit the quarterback, you throw him off his platform, which leads to errant throws, so it definitely disrupts the game. Quick little water break before we get to our fourth and final candidate. Do me a favor while you're drinking a nice cold glass of water, hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you already have, don't touch it, because then it unlikes the video. All right, last guy on the list before we end today's show. Odunze, wide receiver for the Chicago Bears. My biggest breakout candidate in 2025, no doubt. And I say that because Rome has the size, the athleticism, the hands. He's got everything you want to see. Well, why on earth did he not succeed then last year? Very simple. It was a crowded wide receiver room with the rookie quarterback. DJ Moore, big mouth to feed. Keenan Allen, big mouth to feed. Cole Kmet, big mouth to feed. Rome Odunze was the number 3 option on this Chicago Bears team, and now that Keenan Allen is out of the building, you are looking at DJ Moore, Rome Odunze as 1 in 1A. I realize they drafted Luther Burden III. I think it's going to take a minute for him to catch up to the speed of the NFL. He's great with his yak, but we're not talking about Luther Burden in this episode. We're talking about Odunze. So he was competing with the two biggest wide receivers in that room to get looks. And it wasn't until the end of the season where Caleb Williams and Rome really started to gel. So out of all of the statistics that you saw from Rome, which was 54 receptions, 700 yards, 3 touchdowns, I think his breakout numbers are going to look like this. 73 receptions, a little over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. I'm not saying Rome Odunze is going to be a number 1 wide receiver this next year, but he can absolutely be one of the best number 2s in the league. There's no doubt in my mind. And if he put up numbers kind of like this, I'm expecting him to get some serious attention as the future number 1 wide receiver for the Chicago Bears. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. Remember to like the video if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, be cool.